Today is October 1st, 2025, and the federal government has officially shut down as of midnight last night. And according to reports, this is the first government shutdown in 6 years. So we had no shutdown under Joe Biden. Also, according to my research, the shutdown of December 2018 lasted for 3 weeks, and it was the longest shutdown in American history. When it was time to vote last year, November, the December 2018 shutdown was one of the major reasons I did not vote for Trump. Not only was it a shutdown, but it was a shutdown during the Christmas holiday, which to me is worse. It's a worse time to shut the government down when people need to get paid. If you are honest with yourself, the best time to shut down the government is August, when there are no major holidays. The shut now, don't get me wrong here. Don't misunderstand me. A shutdown is a terrible situation. But usually the Democrats and the Republicans don't get along. They just don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So if the Democrats and the Republicans cannot agree, August is the best time to shut everything down. But what I found interesting is yesterday, The Hill posted an article explaining 3 members of the Democratic caucus voted for the new budget. Angus King, who is the independent senator from Maine, also voted for the budget. And he explained why he voted for the new budget. So he says, and I quote, "I just came from the Senate floor where I took one of the most difficult votes I've taken since I've been in the Senate. Many feel that this was an opportunity to stand up to Trump. The irony, the paradox is by shutting down the government, we're actually giving Trump more power. I did not want to hand Trump and Russell Vought and Stephen Miller additional power to decimate the federal government," end quote. So Vought is Trump's budget director, and Miller is Trump's domestic policy advisor. I understand the senator from Maine because now that the shutdown started, I'm in New York, and I found out earlier today that Trump put $18 billion on hold that was allocated to expand one of the subway lines here in the city because they want to know if any of that money went towards DEI initiatives. Now, I was born and raised here in New York City. I've lived here all my life. I went to college here. I know people who lived in New York City at some point in the past and they moved out. Some New Yorkers were born and raised somewhere else and they moved here and they now live here. So a lot of people don't know certain things about this city, and it's hard to learn certain things because 2 reasons. One, this is the largest city in the country, and number 2, we just celebrated his 400th birthday a couple of weeks ago. So New York City is older than the country itself by 150 years. The reason why this $18 billion budget cut is a terrible blow to the city is because it was going towards a subway line that has been planned and under construction for the past 96 years. The reason why it took so long to construct this subway line is because of numerous setbacks over the past 96 years. So Trump is another setback. If you want more information about this particular subway line, you can Google the phrase the history of the Second Avenue subway, and AI will give you a brief overview. It seems as though that, based on what we've been hearing and what the news has been covering, it looks like Trump is going to make some serious cuts. So even though we now know that the $18 billion is on hold, I assume it's going to get cut. Um, I'm just going by what he has done in the past. Now, if you don't live in New York City, you won't understand the importance of the subway. So I compare it to you getting around by car and you lose your car. Like no car at all. Over the past 35 years, the mayors of this city, whether they were Republican or Democrat, didn't matter, they all have tried numerous ways to literally force New Yorkers to take public transportation, the subways and the buses. And they have made efforts to discourage New Yorkers from getting around by car. When I was a kid, for many people who like getting around by car, public transportation was a backup plan. Only the poor and the working class relied on buses and subways. Now, everyone, regardless of economic class, gets around by subways and buses and bikes. But bikes is a whole nother nightmare in and of itself. Anyway, the past few mayors have turned this city into a European city, which does not work because New York City is located in the US, not in Europe. The US is 3,000 miles wide, which is why a flight from New York to Los Angeles is 6 hours. And outside of New York City, everyone gets around by car. So we are discouraged to get around by car. And at a time when New Yorkers need more subway stations, we have another setback. If the mayor isn't screwing us over, the governor is screwing us over. And if the governor is not screwing us over, it's the president. So politicians in general, both the Democrats and the Republicans, are pathetic in my opinion, and Americans refuse to vote for the independent candidates. I won't get into that. I'll just leave that alone. So it seems to me that the senator from Maine is weighing the pros and the cons and determined that voting for the new budget was the lesser of the two evil options. And as an independent voter, I get it. Because now the government shuts down before the holiday season, which is a huge economic blow now that we have had to deal with tariffs. And we recently found out that Trump wants to put a 100% tariff on Hollywood. What I don't understand is Trump's policies have a negative impact on people who voted for him last November. Why do they still support him and his people? That's like getting a thief. That's like letting a thief inside your house instead of calling the cops. If the economy was the reason you voted for Trump last November, what now? I mean, the House, the majority of the House is Republican. The majority of the Senate is Republican. So the fact that they can't now pass a budget and there's a government shutdown, I mean, come on. What gives?